Okay, guys, we're about to go live.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. As always, we do terrible technical issues. Anyway, Gary is doing his alongside live TikTok behind the scenes, and he was just announcing to them they were about to go live, even though we literally went live.
Just went live. As he said it.
So that's brilliant. Anyway, we can't have zero viewers.
Ever the professional, mate. Ever the professional.
We currently have 0 viewers anyway. It is a weird time, but who knows? Anyway, how you doing, guys?
Yeah, good, mate. It's been an emotional weekend, really. I think after Saturday, I just kind of wanted to clarify something about my take on Ollie Watkins, right? Because it's obviously caused a little bit of upset, and we've had this debate with many, and people like. And we're going to get a fellow Villa fan who sits in front of us, aren't we? Chris is going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about that. So this is my wonderful mug. So just so if you are joining on live and watching on TikTok, right, the Watkins kind of frustration is banter, right? I just want to go out there and publicly say I really, really love Watkins. I think he's a great player. He's been a great servant. Right? I love him as an individual. He's a family man. He's kind of, he's probably the epitome of a decent human being. Right? Love him, but that doesn't mean I can't have the opinion of that he should be doing better for the Villa, right? And so to be dragged over the coals by a certain individual about not being objective about it, when he hadn't even watched the whole show and has not probably seen any of our previous stuff, just to jump on and kind of, I'm not subscribing anymore.
It's also a case of we often jump on those like live post-match reactions. It's all very raw, and we're kind of sitting there and we're like, fucking hell, Watkins, like, missing the chance. But we all know what he's done for the club and what he's done for the team. And I suppose more me probably backing myself up. He has qualities and they work well a lot of the time. He's really good at holding the ball up, bringing others into play, creating space. His work rate, sometimes the chances he creates are chances that no other striker would get. But just unfortunately, he isn't a out and out natural born finisher. And so, unfortunately, he misses a lot of chances, and that's the frustration.
That's my frustration, mate. In a season where we've been,
and that doesn't mean he's crap. That's not my.
No.
And I think the main thing was because last time, Gary, I think you went off and went, "Get them out of my club." You're like, "You want Watkins out of the club?"
And Aston McPhee.
We don't actually want.
I don't want anyone out of the club, but necessarily. But I would say that I think again, it's a debate, and my opinion, Austin McPhee has been stealing the wage for 4 seasons. I don't care about what the stats say. I go every week, right, to Villa Park. I pay my money. I watch the amount of set pieces, and I haven't done this. No one's done this, really. If you look at every set piece we've ever taken since he's been in charge of set pieces, right, to the goal ratio, it's appalling. I bet it will be appalling. I don't know what the exact stat is, or how many times we've conceded from a set piece, or how many times we've given a throw-in from a set piece, right? It doesn't negate the fact that this season we've, managed to, be top of the leaderboard for set piece goals.
Yeah, it's a difficult stat because it is literally like, it's like how.
Hi, Joe.
It's possibly part of the argument with the Watkins thing, right? Is that yes, okay, he scores goals and he scores a good number of goals. But the question is how many chances is he missing? And that's the point you were saying. He's missed 31 big chances. They're not just generic chances. They are big chances. And so it can be a little bit where it can be, it's the ratio. It's the percentage of chances or it's the percentage of set pieces. That's quite hard to find. It's a bit of a different stat. There's a guy called AVFC Stato. I might try and I'll tweet him and I'll see if he can.
It's never going to be reported in the mainstream media, or for the club are never going to report it because it makes them look bad. Because statistically, it will look bad. And so, and as I was trying to point out to that guy, it's not about slagging Watkins off, but it's about being real about him. It's not like it's easy to look at the good and get on and go, Watkins is amazing. Look at what he does.
And I understand getting behind the players, support the club. And we do. Like, we go every week to the home games. We support them. We're not sitting there moaning. We're not sitting there shouting.
We're supporting. We are supporting, aren't we?
You definitely do moan about Watkins. But, other than that.
Only when he misses.
Which unfortunately tends to be on average almost once a game. So, but yes. Anyway, enough about the Watkins thing. Enough about the Watkins. We've addressed it. It's gone. Now, what this episode is about is about all those looking at these fixtures that are coming up. We've each got 3 games left. What are the permutations? What do we need to happen in order for Villa to get to that top 5? Now, from what I can tell, there are 3 things that need to happen. 3 things. Villa need to win all their games. So Villa need to win their remaining 3 games. I mean, we don't technically have to, but this is what I think we need. We need to win our remaining 3 games. Chelsea need to draw or worse against Forest. Yeah. And Chelsea need to lose to Newcastle.
Yeah.
If that happens, we will jump above Forest because they will draw 1 game and we will win all ours. Yeah, we will jump above Chelsea because they will win 1 game, draw 1 game, and we will jump above them because we win all ours. So we need Newcastle to do us a freaking favour because Liverpool couldn't be asked because they're on the beach. Come on, Newcastle, sort us out. But anyway, we're going to get to it now. So here, I've got this crappy predictor thing online. Now, I don't care about all the other games, but I don't think I can ignore them. So I'm just going to put them all as 0-0s.
Yeah. The most boring end to a Premier League season ever.
I'm going to put them all as 0-0. Now, Bournemouth Villa. Now,
it's a tough game, mate.
We will do it. We will do our predictions, but in let's be pessimistic. So let's say we draw it. Yeah, let's say we draw it. Right, Newcastle Chelsea. Like we said, we need Newcastle to beat Chelsea. So there's no point in doing this prediction without that happening. So let's go with a 2-1.
Newcastle 8-0.
Yeah. Now affect the goal difference, Gaz. That doesn't quite work for this, does it? No. Okay, Forest will beat Leicester, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And Spurs Palace don't care. Liverpool Arsenal don't care. Right. Okay, next game week. So Villa Spurs.
Now, while we're on Villa Spurs, mate, if we predict that score,
mate,
what are we thinking about the fixture change?
I'm just going to make us big for this quick chat.
Yeah.
Right. I've got a Spurs fan at work, Jasper. If you're watching, mate, I've been having this conversation with him today. And I mean, he makes the point that, so obviously I think we asked for a game to be moved when we played PSG. It was either PSG or when we played Club Brugge. I can't remember.
Well, there's been 2 instances, and there was definitely, I think there was Club Brugge, and there was definitely the PSG one because they had their game with the French team.
We asked and we got denied, right?
Yeah.
And we got denied quarterfinal of the Champions League and last 16 in the Champions League. His point was obviously, but that's not a final. I was like, yeah, I know. But why is the precedent different? However, he did his research and he did find that we got our game in the semi-final of the Conference League moved.
Okay, so that's fine. So it's not about them.
That's his precedence.
So where's the consistency? Where's the consistency? Like in terms of
there is no consistency. And the thing that frustrates me even more about it is that it means nothing to Spurs. The Premier League means nothing to Spurs.
Yeah.
Nothing. They can field staff if they want to. Like
which we would massively appreciate. So why can't they do us a favour?
Yeah,
field down the 12.
They can put all their staff on there and put their class of 82, whatever they want to put on there. Yeah. They can do that if they want to.
Bring back Glenn Hoddle, give him a game.
And it's not going to make a blind bit of difference to their league.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not. You're right.
That's the thing I don't get about it is they've done it to try and rest play or like to have more time to prepare. And I'm like, just don't play your players that are going to play in that game because the Premier League means nothing to you. And that's not saying I want Villa to have a free ride. I mean, I'd love it, but like, I actually think we'll beat Spurs anyway because they're shit. Yes. But like, it's just frustrating.
It's frustrating, man. And
I'm guessing Man U will get their game moved then.
Yeah, well, they're due to play Chelsea, aren't they, on the Friday?
Right. Well, I'm telling you, you'll have every single European club next season now going, can I have a game move? Well, here's precedent.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a final. It's like, no, but this is a Champions League game, not a Europa League game. So isn't it like the same, value? It's just bollocks.
It opens up a can of worms.
Can't stand it.
And I'm sure it will show bias. And at the end of the day, like I think the Villa fans are angry, but it's probably maybe it's the right thing to do. I'm not saying don't give teams in Europe
I
like
think those are short odds, by the way. There, I think that's. I think it should be 5,000 to 1. If I'm honest.
yeah, what if I find there's a bit in the top two this weekend? Well, you never know if everyone else leaves. I was going to say it should be 5,000 to 1. But I think a lot of Villa fans are frustrated, mate, because just on the day-to-day thing, if you're planning a game for a Sunday afternoon, and you've got, you take your kids to the Villa, and all of a sudden it's now a 7:30, 8 o'clock kickoff on a Friday night when you've been at work all day. And, if you're, and for the Spurs fans as well, if they're going to travel, like what a nightmare that is. All of a sudden, like,
I think it's really crap because
really
also
poor.
Because the club want to do, it's the last home game of the season. The club want to do something for, like, on the Sunday, it'd be a nice family affair, and there'd be like everyone there. It'd be lovely.
Well, mate, that's 2 seasons in a row now where our last home game of the season has been an evening game. And
and it's
I
also,
don't care what you say,
like,
it's not the same.
families. The players have their families there and stuff as well. I reckon they've done the Friday night to try and appease the whole thing around. Well, Thursday night, people have got work the next day. Kids got school stuff. You can't go to the game. Blah blah blah. And they've done it for a Friday so that it leads onto the weekend. But still, it's just like you said, like trains and public transport on a weekday evening. Bollocks. I mean, for me, I have to basically leave at like 3 o'clock to get there. It's like, so, hopefully no one works watching this, but I make up the hours, people. Don't worry, I make up the hours.
Selfishly for me, mate, I'm, it works better for me because my daughters could be playing in national finals and a cup final that weekend. So actually, getting to the game on the Sunday would have been difficult for me. I probably would have had to miss it, and that would have been a shame. So at least I get to go the game. But like, just Brummy Gaz there in the comments, I don't know if we can highlight that one. Look,
can't make the Friday, yeah.
He's well pissed off, and that's understandable, mate, because
only home game you've missed. Oh, mate.
Oh, that's devastating, Brummy Gaz. Do you know what I mean? That's devastating, isn't it? Because work commitments or whatever, people might be working a Friday night, and or have other it's just it's a poor show, really, without any consideration for the fans, just to basically for the agenda to protect big six clubs.
Speaking of nowhere near it. Speaking of a poor show, not thinking about the fans, Chris Heck off at the end of the season, isn't he? See you later, mate.
Bye.
Right. So what's interesting? So before we get back to the predictions, I was listening to Claret and Blue, and they were talking about it, and they were saying, like, do you think Chris Heck has done what he needed to do, which was come in, raise like more money, commercial money, blah 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 blah? And I was like, well, yeah, we've got Champions League, so we're going to have increased revenues. We've now got Adidas as our kit sponsor, which is nothing to do with him because our owners part own Adidas. He's then increased prices, which is basically what anyone can do. He's brought in more prawn sandwich brigade for the hospitality. Again, not that hard to do.
Yeah.
And he's taking claim that he's done his job and he's now out. Fuck off. My nan could have done that job. Like,
mate, you could have paid me far less money to do that. Far less money.
Absolutely ridiculous. Like, anyone could have done what he's done, and it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see who comes in, and I presume now we'll have experience around like large stadium build, like improvement builds.
We need someone better, mate. Like, but even our owners know how to do it better. Like with what they own in America and the sports teams, they're much better run commercially than we have ever been. And it wasn't until, and I've mentioned this on the show, when I went to Brighton away, right, how just better it was. Like in terms of just the basics. Commercially, the club have been poor for the last 2 or 3 seasons while he's been in charge, mate. And I think, again, it's a bit like the Watkins thing. You don't always, what the grass isn't always greener. But I hope that whoever we get in has a real understanding of how to actually build things up properly while supporting fans. Like it's not even about increasing the prices. If you're going to increase the prices, fine, but give us something that's worthy of that price increase. Do you know what I mean? That people can tap into.
I think that's the thing. It's like so Seeking here said, Villa have to generate income. There's no nice way of doing it. I know, but I think it's the level of what they did. Like those Champions League prices, like it was national news. It was like literally the highest any English club had charged. And I know it pales in comparison to like Real Madrid and all those teams, but they're Real Madrid. They are like literally the biggest clubs in the
Global.
entire world.
Yeah.
Like we're not that. We're not
yet.
there yet. You know, and
That's what we got.
it is.
That's what we got
It
to
is the
aspire
case
to
of
be.
we don't want Villa to become that plastic club. And unfortunately, we have spoke about this before about does more and more success just kind of dilute the whole thing, and that happens.
Yeah,
probably.
You know,
but
it's personally, I don't want that. But if that, like I say, that you can't see that going any other way. It would. Maybe I'm being a bit naive and being a bit utopian here, mate. That we could have the owners actually really invest in the club, so the fans do benefit from it, whether that be both commercially and in the community, and building a new stand and new train stations, all great and all that. But like, there's still, the biggest thing is that Chris Eck has focused on the prawn sandwich brigade and the corporate side of things so much in the last 2 years. It's all you ever get. It's all the emails I ever get. Now that is outpricing genuine fans. Now, if you're going to if you're going to extend the stand, you better make it accessible for the 30,000 people that are waiting for season tickets.
You think about James and I see in front of us with the season ticket. They couldn't afford to go to all the Champions League games. He said, I can't do it all. And then when you got the FA Cup run as well, and then there's all these kind of cup games. It's a lot of money, especially we spoke about it before when you got a family of four or three, you and two kids, and they're all going to the game. And it's like almost £100. What is it? £100 a game. It's like, it's a lot of money when you got 4 games. That's 1,200 quid.
Yeah,
like just on that.
People say, just pay, and I think that's just so naive and wrong.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Because there are other people that don't pay, but it's not right.
My question is, right, if we do the miraculous turnaround here and we do make it, are they going to do that again? So are we going to have to do that every season?
Yeah.
And then your season ticket prices go up as well. It just gets silly. But anyway, we could go on about that forever. Back to the predictions. Completely useless predictions that mean nothing to the actual standings of the league. So Spurs Villa, I'm going to go for a 2-1. Oh, 21-1.
2-1.
Right.
As long
Chelsea,
as it's a win,
Man U. Chelsea Man U.
The thing is,
it's about let's go with this.
It is, but that could be the same for us, mate. And I think that Man U away, they're going to have to focus on the Europa League. I think Chelsea will win that game. I do.
Let's go with a 2-0. Everton Southampton 0-0. West Ham Forest.
We need a draw, mate. They need to draw that game.
I don't think we do need a draw. I told you only 2 things need to happen. Chelsea need to draw with Forest, and Chelsea need to lose to Newcastle. And we need to win that game.
However, Chelsea is Forest's last game of the season. And if Forest get a decent result here against West Ham and win, they're going to go into that game full of confidence at home against Chelsea.
West Ham just drew at home to
somebody irrelevant. 1-1.
1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, might have been Brighton. Don't know.
Hang on, it's here. Where is it? West Ham. Spurs.
Oh, well, yeah. Fucking Spurs.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Forest look out on their feet. They were actually quite lucky against Palace. Palace really, really knocked on the door against them yesterday. But you're right. Let's go worst case scenario. Let's say Forest do win that.
Yeah.
0-0. Oh, Newcastle. Newcastle Arsenal. I don't bet on Arsenal at all. They've ruined my bet at the weekend. I'm pissed.
Well, Newcastle, mate. Ideally, we want Newcastle to win, so they're not in that 5th place race. That they're not, so they're flying. It is just between the 3 of us. That's what we need.
Don't care about this. If I'm honest, either. Right. So, Bournemouth, Leicester. Don't care. Don't care. Right.
We have to win. Mate, it's such a banana skin for us. Like, we just don't win at Old Trafford.
Newcastle, Everton. We're going to say don't care.
Yeah.
Forest, Chelsea.
That's the draw. 1-1, mate.
It's got to be. What's this to? Right, let's have a look.
And let's have a look. Final league standings.
Right. So this was me being pessimistic and giving us a draw against Bournemouth.
On goal difference.
This is us drawing against Bournemouth. So you can see what I mean, where we haven't gone pessimistic with the other, like as in the other games, we've gone pretty much what we probably would expect will happen. The big one is if Forest beat Chelsea, that could be on the final day.
Yeah.
But like you can see here that if we beat Bournemouth, we finish on 69 points
and finish 5th.
And finish 5th.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm. It's not out of the realms. It's not out of the realms. It's just.
It's not out of the realms. It just
you know what? I think the thing is like I do think Forest will slip up, and I do think Chelsea will slip up. I just don't know if we're going to win our 3 games. I really hope we do. This Bournemouth game is so. Look, I feel like I'm saying it every freaking game. It's the biggest game of our season.
Because I've been accused of not being objective, right? It'd be easy to say we're going to win all 3 and finishing the top 5. Like I genuinely believe it depends on what Villa side turn up on his team selection.
Yeah. We know we can. It's just recent last 3 performances not been great.
No, and I firmly believe he's picking the wrong team. Like he's picking the wrong personnel. But
Sean, what bet you got on? Says, tell me to lose my bet by 1 point. Have you got a bet that Villa finish in the Champions League? And it won't be 1 point, actually, because the 1 point would put you equal with Forest, and the goal difference should still fall outside of the Champions League.
Yeah. But Sean, that's only if we don't beat Bournemouth. If we win our 3 remaining games, I think.
Who's second? What are you on about? Oh, you're saying if we got 69? No, because we need 71 because Newcastle. Based on, I put in all fluffy results, didn't I? That their goal difference is way better, so we'd have to. No, there's no chance we're going to get that. You're Newcastle, yeah. I know they're new on 70, but our goal difference is way worse, so we won't get second.
Yeah,
this is a classic. That would be a classic Villa. Bottle job.
But that's the biggest fear, isn't it? It's the hope that kills you, to get through those 2 hurdles, and like you say, Old Trafford
is just a graveyard
for us.
El Smith, I like that, El Smith. I think we know we're giving ourselves too much to do. We are way too reliant on other teams. I do and I don't hope that this happens, but I kind of hope that we just don't beat Bournemouth, and then it's like the hope's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the hope that kills you. It's the worst thing ever.
If we lose to Bournemouth, then we can just go, okay, let's focus on getting top 7 and finishing the Europa League places and go again next year.
It's only Europa League if Man City beat Palace.
Yeah, they will. Don't worry about
that. Palace are like one of the best.
No, I know.
One of the most informed teams in Europe right now. They're massive.
Mate, hopefully Eze will have a horrible knee ligament injury in the next 2 weeks and be out for the season, and then join Villa and come back. Cheap. Yeah, buy him on the cheap. We can come to, because he was outstanding yesterday, mate. What a player he is. So after that, so I've got people on TikTok saying, "Do we think Emery will jump ship if we don't qualify for Europe?" Right. And he has to sell players for FFP. Now, I think that's obviously nonsense, but there's a few people here going.
No, he won't leave. He won't leave. He's aware of everything. He'll be aware of all the commercial numbers. He'll be aware of everything. Is it Vidigani? The guy.
Yes, mate.
Him and Monchi. It'll be in constant communication. He'll know everything.
Well, yeah, but Monchi also went on a microphone.
There's no FFP situation here with 150 charges. Like, no, this is he knows everything that's going on.
Look, I've said on previous shows, I think the Villa are seriously close to doing something special. Like, it's not going to look as it was. Just like at the start of this season when we sold Dougie, everyone was like, "Oh, what's going to happen?" Tielemans stepped up to the plate massively. If we can have a shrewd transfer window in the summer and bring in some players that it's probably going to be players we don't really know a lot about, but Emery can get to the next level. Like, I think we can do something. We'll win a trophy next year, like it's the Europa League or FA Cup or League Cup. I think we will do that. We're close, and that's going to breed confidence. I think we've just got to be patient, and it's a building curve. I don't think Emery's in looking to go anywhere else. I think he wants to kind of see us be successful over a large, large scale.
I know it's not. This isn't like how footballers and people in the footballing world think, but there's so much invested in Emery. Like the Real Union Union.
Yeah,
Onion. It's not onion.
onion.
Real.
No, we'll go with onion, mate. Real
Yeah.
onion.
It's all the layers.
It makes me
The
cry.
Real Union stuff. The whole thing. Like he's got like everyone he know, all his staff and all the people that they're all around him. So
Yeah.
it'd be a very strange one. I can't. Also, where would he go? Where's he go? Like, who's going to give him this level of like investment and this level of control and this level of like, and actually do it in a league where it's working and we're getting momentum? What?
So just Villa's Gani. I'm just going on your.
Villa's Gani.
Yeah. Just made me laugh. Sorry, mate.
Villa's Gani. But anyway,
Villa projects, yeah.
a very quick interlude into for those who haven't seen it. A little bit of shameless plug in here. So we have now got a shop which is accessible via our YouTube channel. I think there should be some products down in the product shelf below this video, maybe. If not, go to our channel on YouTube and there should be the products highlighted on there. At the moment, we've got, if I go to browse all at the top, we have actually got 5 products in total.
Yeah.
We've got the Villa mug, which Gary, I believe you've got in your hands right now. Like, here he is demoing it up. The Aston Villa Every Week We Follow fan channel mug, just there. So if you want to be, branded up and you want to support us with that, you can do. There is obviously the Watkins mug, which everyone loves, which is Gary getting very angry at Ollie Watkins. I am thinking about doing a version of it. I'm thinking of doing a version of this, by the way, where you can actually change the name to whatever you like. So if that's something that you would prefer, just let me know in the comments. And then we are also, you can get t-shirts. So we've got t-shirts with our logo on as well in all various colors and sizes. And we've also got Gary's angry face as well, and the same thing in all colors.
I love it, mate.
All colors as well. And then one last thing, if you just want to stick him up on your bathroom window, if you just want to look at this face when you're brushing your teeth, pop it on. You can put it on there.
Who wouldn't want a bathroom sticker, mate? Or you can stick it anywhere. You can put it next to your bedside table if you want, and stack it over the picture of your.
We shout at contact full of go. Oh yeah, Liam. That's not a great. I might start doing topical cartoons based on these situations. Yeah, what was that about? Was he wasn't. I mean, Emery was getting frustrated.
He was conceding the chance when it was how important it was. It was the moment, and we nearly conceded.
Well, he was so high up the pitch.
Yeah.
He was miles high. I was literally what the hell is Consta doing here? And I think mainly he knows because he's next to Pau Torres that he's kind of screwed if he's that high up the pitch because you've got no protection with that Consta there.
Well, thankfully it was Harry Wilson who got on the end of it and didn't, anyone of any caliber. It could have been very different and could have cost us. Like I say, we've got to start questioning these squad selections because it's not. I've got nothing against system Emery plays. I agree with it, right? Fine, but there's times where he's got it wrong this year and it's cost us in big games, mate. And
I mean, he's human, right? Like people make. People make mistakes. I think it's these last few games that have been a bit odd. I kind of before gone, okay, maybe I can see that. I can kind of understand that. But like the repeated playing of Torres and like not giving Marlon minutes and
if you're Mings and Marlon, mate, what do you think? I mean, not so much Marlon because he's probably thinking, okay, next season will be my year. But if you're Mings and you're kind of the age you are, 31, is he? And he needs to be playing, not sitting on the bench. So he's probably thinking, I don't want to leave. I know Mings loves the club. I don't think he'd want to leave. But you'd be thinking seriously, I need to be playing. And I know I've been, and like you said before, we don't know if he's still carrying a bit of a niggle, and that's why he hasn't played.
Yeah, like is he playing through injections and stuff, and they're trying to manage him so that he's not like completely cropped because you can get long-term problems through those things. But it's I just don't know, and it'll be. I mean, we'll do obviously a longer episode specifically about this, but like the summer transfer window is going to be fascinating. Like I'm hoping we do what we usually do, which is we get our business done early, because what we don't want is a summer of speculation around players like Martinez, Watkins, Rogers, all that kind of stuff. People are like, well, are they here? Can we build around them because they're not here, or they're going to be here? Or I think it needs to be done quite quickly. I'm usually there's no smoke without fire. So The Bailey thing, the Martinez thing, which I'm not so happy about, and the Watkins stuff. I don't like the Rodgers stuff. But those 3 players, it might be discussions already happening to try and get something basically done very quickly.
Yeah. It's annoying that the rumours start now because we need them focused, But
that's weird, by the way. Although I will say, Luca Dean has had Adama Traore in his pocket every single game that we played against Wolves or Fulham.
Yeah, but it is again when you're looking at. I think for there, it's just the actual decision. Like you don't really get the explanation.
Well, I think the worst one was the Disasi Doku one. That was just bonkers. That just made no sense. Put on Disasi. Of course, he's going to put Doku on. Of course, he is.
Yeah. Well, my question is because we haven't spoke about it yet, and I think we should probably look at ending the show this way. Like the youngsters, brilliant yesterday, 3-1 against Man City in the FA Youth Cup, right? And
I didn't
yes,
see that.
I've seen that on Sky, mate. Yeah, but Rodgers is also his favourite player, and so. Are any youngsters going to come through? You got this Conor Brannigan who scored an absolute screamer yesterday, but it's again.
Ken Kessler Hayden, him, right back, and right back's always been a position that we're like.
And what about Louis Barry? Because you've got the. He's been out. Is that just him done? Like has he got the ability? Are we ever going to if we're talking about PSR and staying within those things? Like it wouldn't be too bad to bring another homegrown talent through the ranks if they're good enough.
Yeah, PSR. That's the prime. And this is what's frustrating about it, though, right? Although the rules are changing, so hopefully it won't be as bad. But like, as a fan, you want the players to come through, and you want them to play, and you want them to build up, and you want them to become better. But the problem is when they're on the cusp of being any good, you now sell them because you get massive. It's all profit. Well, so it actually becomes a thing of like just a frustrating merry-go-round of good players.
I think also the problem is that Emery's unlikely to use youngsters when you're competing at the highest level. Like you're not going to bring like a youngster on who's got no experience in the Champions League unless he's something of absolute brilliance. So it says to me that maybe they're not good enough because Emery's not stupid. Like I think if he knew he had someone in the under 18s, under 23s that were, good enough, they'd be on the bench and they'd be in and around the first team.
He's done it. He did it before, right? He did it with Bogard. He's done it with. He obviously brought Philogene Benes back. He had. He has had players. There's been players on the bench that I'm like, I have absolutely no idea who these players are. Like, I don't know whether they are just there to be in the shop window to give them some kind of.
Is it? Or... Yeah, absolutely, mate. Because that's what will keep the merry-go-round going when it have PSR.
This though has to be.
Yeah,
absolute freaking priority whenever it needs to be done. Or whenever
forget about anything else, mate. Yeah,
I don't know how long he's got left. How long has he got left?
That's a good question.
Does anyone know? Pop in the comments if you know how long he's got left. Because this guy needs to be on a 10-year deal. We need to sign him down to a 10-year deal and keep him in.
Yeah, Kamara's key, mate. Absolute key. And I think Tielemans, mate, like what he's done this year has been brilliant. If you can be consistent again next year.
These last 2 games.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's been sensational, mate. You could argue say he's been the player of the season. I would go with Kamara, but because he was out injured for such a long period of time, I think Tielemans has been our most consistent player. I do. Yeah. So these are players that we need to get back and keep firing. I want Anthony at the Villa.
Anthony Goat.
Are you talking about the guy real bitters from Man United? I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League, mate. But he's smashing it up in Spain. But
Anthony's awful. I'm guessing that's not. Hopefully that's not who he means. And Louis Barry gets Ramsey and Rashford role if they leave.
Louis Barry gets Ramsey and Rashford. Oh, well,
I just don't know. If he's good. I don't know.
Well, so mate, for me, like Louis Barry obviously showed massive potential, right? And I remember I went to the pre-season game against Warsaw, right, where he was still with us, right, and he played in that game.
That Liverpool game as well.
He was brilliant, mate. Yeah, and the confidence was there, but I'm telling you, I think he's been told there's not a place for him because that game against Warsaw, that's only pre-season, but his body language, like, it's not someone who knew he was going to be figuring someone's plans. It was basically, it felt like I've been told I'm going back out on loan, and actually I haven't got a place. And then you look at, going for Rashford and things like that. I just don't. One, I don't know if he's good enough because he's never been given a chance. But two, I just don't think I don't think he's in favour of getting that chance either.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the whole homegrown thing is it's just difficult. And I do think because the rules are changing, right? It's going to be like squad. It's going to be like squad profits, or it's going to be like squad share.
Yeah,
like the I don't know what I'm saying. The money that you spend on the money that you spend in your squad, mate. I'm too tired. The money that you spend in your squad, like on player wages and all that stuff, has to be a percentage of your profits or something. Like it can only be within a certain percentage. And annoyingly, if you're in Europe, I don't know whether it's like whether it's staggered in the European competitions, but if you're in Europe, it has to be less percentage of your turnover.
Yeah.
So if you're not in Europe, then you get to use a larger share. Now, if you're in the Champions League, then that makes a huge difference. Like, as in, you're getting a lot of money, and obviously you can only use 10% less of it, so it's not quite as much.
Yeah.
If you're in Europa League and that, the money isn't anywhere near that level.
No.
So I would assume it's not the same rule.
Let us know. Yeah, I don't know, mate.
But like, it's Barry will be so. Yeah, I agree. I think Louis Barry probably will.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree with that, mate. I think again, that's pure profit, so it's like, yeah, and it's a shame because he has shown massive potential. But I think I don't know who, I've mentioned Liam Delap, but we need something that is going to be.
Yeah, and I do agree. I do agree with the commenter on the previous video about, like, Liam, and I think I said it at the time about Liam Delap. It's a very small sample size. Purely potential, and I agree with that. So if we were to potentially replace Watkins, I think if Delap, fucking hell, if Delap was to come in, he would probably be an understudy or someone alongside someone else. I don't think he would be our main striker.
Main man. Well, yeah, and that leads to the point. We don't know where we are with the Rashford deal. If Watkins stays, if Watkins was to stay, I mean, you got to think of all scenarios. Like he has to improve his finishing ratio. It's simple as, because we're never going to get to that next stage. You can't.
If he just replicate, I mean, actually, I say just replicate. Last season was an absolute world. The other season for him, it was unbelievable. And everything touch turned to gold. He did miss chances, but more.
Yeah. The problem was, mate, he had probably more goal in involvements than he did goals, and that hasn't been the case this season. So if you were marring up
necessarily, which isn't. Again, I think like I was saying before, it's not necessarily his fault. I think the way we play is a fault.
Yeah.
And I think we actually need our striker to be a clinical finisher.
Yeah,
I don't think we need our striker to be someone that's going to enable everyone
else. And we know they're a dormer, doesn't he, mate?
Powerful. You've got Ramsey running through the lines. You've got Marlon who can run at the. We don't necessarily need those attributes of Ollie creating space for others, because I think they created themselves. They bully through teams like Anana. Jesus Christ, against Fulham, it was like a freight train.
Yeah,
he literally picked up the ball and just ran. And I was like, what is happening? This is mental. He seemed really buoyed from that goal against Newcastle.
Yeah, we've said this numerous times. We've got good squad depth. Do you know what I mean? We have got a good squad. Now it's about fine tuning it. And I don't think there'll be loads of signings this year. I think players will go. I think, and we'll bring in one or two. It's about the players that we've got stepping up to the next level. Like it is. Like
I think there'll be. I mean, our squad's too big. Personally, I know we've got rotation stuff, but it was so big. It's so big that the other week Torres didn't even get in the squad.
Yeah.
So I actually think our squad is a little bit too big. So I actually think there'll be about 5 or 6 outgoings, probably 3 incomings, like in terms of like bigger players. I think there'll be loads of like Deadwood, like continue. Dead Donker's still on our books.
Oh no, Gerrard leaving his mark.
I think he's still on our books. Any Dendoncker, he's just on loan.
Yeah.
So Dendoncker, Coutinho.
Yeah. There'll definitely be clearance out, mate. Stuff that we probably forgot about, and younger players.
This is a prime example. You should never have a striker your main striker, running through on goal 1-on-1, and I just feel like he's not going to score.
Not going to score. Yeah, but be careful what you say, Sean, because I get in trouble for saying stuff like this because apparently Watkins is the main man, but like he's not.
I mean, he is, and at the end of the day, we do need to support him, and we do.
Yeah,
it's just it's okay for us to be critical of him, and it's okay for us to just highlight the fact that he's not a great finisher, and he does offer loads of other attributes, but I just don't believe that right now is what we need, and I don't believe it's what we need going forward. So I actually think we need a clinical, natural finisher, which potentially Louis Barry in 5 years is, but he's not there.
Mate, again, this from Sean again, because I agree with this, mate. I think this is why I think the link there. I think Delap working under Emery would improve him no end, and I think you'd see
that Duran move's interesting, right? Like I do wonder what. Do you think it was both the Asensio and the Rashford deals that wouldn't have happened if the Duran left? Or do you think one of them would have happened regardless? Do you think Rashford just wouldn't have come in?
Well, maybe, but the big question is like, I don't know if those people saw the overlap last week with Jamie Carragher mentioned that we offered Watkins to Arsenal. Now, when that came out in January, that was very much a shock to us all, wasn't it? That it was a last minute, and it was all talked about as if that was a bid from Arsenal. Now, if we offered and they said basically no, and then we sold Duran, it means there would have been unrest building for that. And Ollie's probably thinking you've either denied me a place to go and play for my boyhood club who I support, and so that's why his form has dipped, and it has. I think it's fair to say. Like, no one can argue with that. I don't care what you say. And then you bring in someone like Rashford because you like him as a player probably, and you think I can get the best out of him. So Emery's done that. Would that have happened if and Duran clearly didn't want to stay because he just saw dollar signs and I'm going to earn £1.2 million a month, so I'm off. Cheerio. It's all ifs, buts, and maybes, but like it does feel to me like the Rashford thing would have then put a divide into the dressing room with Watkins because he's probably thinking, hang on a minute, I wanted to go and now I'm not. Now I've lost my place, and you're playing someone out of position. Do you know what I mean? And even though Watkins has been given,
I get it, and that's why I've said. That's why I've said. I think the Watkins thing is just feels pure confidence. Honestly, I can't speak fucking English today. It's purely confidence, and he's such a confidence player because he is naturally a very humble person. Like you've seen him talk.
It's lovely, mate.
And he's trying to push out of his comfort zone and be a bit more ego and a bit self-driven, and he's trying to be selfish, and I think it's just confidence, man. It's just confidence, just not working.
The thing is, you're right, but you can't talk the talk and not walk the walk. You can't go onto Sky Sports, and I've said this before, and go, I'm fuming that I haven't been given game time. And
that's the turning point at the moment. I think there was something on the Claret and Blue Q&A, and they were talking about, someone asked, do you think Emery's lost the dressing room? Now, I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's lost the dressing room. I think they're all big, some of them are bigger characters than others. Some of them are also quite young. So, like Rodgers could be a little bit immature and stuff. And I think there's just some players now who demand better. I think there's just some of the players, they're like, you're not cutting it, mate. You've had, that's another fucking chance you missed, Ollie, and it's like, and I just think they all want better. And I think it is the case where that's why they're arguing the pitch. And that's why Emery says he doesn't have a problem with players arguing back at him, because they all want better. They all just want to be better, and they want to hit levels. So passion's okay. It's just as long as it doesn't become negative and affecting and toxic and that kind of thing. Be good, like, competition.
Well, look, at the end of the day, we've got 3 massive games left now for this running, and if Watkins wants to send a leaving present because he is going in the summer, now's his time to rise. He's done all right against Bournemouth away last couple of seasons, scored a couple of goals. He does cause them problems, but he. Ultimately, it comes down to whether he'll be clinical. He'll get chances. He gets chances every game because we create chances. We've got a good enough squad now that we create chances every game, mate. And and I know I'm not saying you should take every one of them before anyone gets on my case, but even as a rule for strikers, anyway, in your own head, you'd be like, okay, 50% of my chances. If I get 4, I need to score 2. Do you know what I mean? That's a decent hit ratio. And any good striker, if you're pushing, even if you want to go to Arsenal, if he gets to Arsenal, he's not going to get him league titles and cups if he's missing 31 big chances a year. You're like, it just ain't going to happen.
Well, I think they look at him as a player that enables others, which again is like probably the way they play, which I just don't think is now the way we play. With Diaby leaving, Bailey being off it, we actually need it. We need Ollie to step up. And like our recent results and stuff have actually, like, Ollie has chipped in with a few goals, but recently it's been Rashford and Asensio got us through, and then more recently there's like players like Onana and stuff who are chipping in with goals. So it's not about Ollie necessarily kicking on and scoring, but he's potentially creating stuff for other players. But I actually think the other players are creating stuff for themselves now.
Here's one more for you, mate. Sorry, there's a question on TikTok. Boy Vardy as a sub. What do you reckon for that?
Emi Vardy. I think he's a. Have you heard the links with him to Wrexham?
Yes, I think that's a great move for him, mate. That would be amazing.
I
wouldn't have him at the Villa anyway. He's weighing me up too many times, scoring against us and stood in front of the whole end and just, shut. Like, no, I couldn't. I don't forgive him for that.
Well, I think this is interesting.
Jamie Vardy to Wrexham, I reckon.
What's your thoughts on forget the rules on like PSR and stuff? If Saudi came in 100 mil for Emi, I think you got to take it.
You got to look at it. It's the same with Jack.
I think any of our players, someone comes in for 100 million, you got to take it.
Yeah, you've got to have it because it balances the books and it means you go out there and I trust in what we've got.
I've seen what Emery can do with 2 or 3 players worth.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Coach in world football with developing players, like there's numerous options out there, and I'm not saying this is the way we go, but there's an interview on Sky Sports with Nicholas Jackson talking about Emery and how much he loves him, and without him he wouldn't be the player he is. And they asked him which coach have you learned from the most, and he was just like, probably not the right thing to do when you're a Chelsea player. You probably should pick up your own like current coach, but he was like, I love Emery. I wouldn't be the player that I am. He's developed me so much. Like, I'd love to work with him again. Like, all these kind of things that you probably shouldn't say during a season. I don't know. Like, but if you've got players like that, you think, yes, Nicholas Jackson's been hit and miss for Chelsea, but there is a player in there. If he came to the Villa and worked under Emery again, would we see someone light up the Premier League? Do you know what I mean? You just don't know, do you? It's all ifs, buts, and maybes, but these are all kind of options that we need to be looking at to get to the next level, because ultimately the goal is to be challenging for Champions League every season and getting there, because that's where we all want to be. I've had a taste of it now this season. I've loved every.
I want it. I want it again. We were actually. It's quite interesting. I was. Someone was saying the other day that we were really unlucky when we played in the Conference League when we did, because it was the hardest it's been. Like, there were some massive teams in there compared to this season and like the season before when West Ham won it. There's just no one in there really. Just quickly, so all you guys saying that we didn't have our game rearranged, I just said to my mate, I said, you're wrong. Like, I've been told by our fans that you're wrong. This here, how it did. We did get our Brighton fixture moved from the Saturday to the Sunday to give us an extra day.
Oh, well.
So apparently.
There you go.
But yeah, who knows? But yeah, so apparently we did get special dispensation.
So they moved one that probably didn't really matter. But when we ask again, they say no. I don't understand.
I don't get it. I just don't understand why they moved that Spurs spring. But anyway,
yeah.
Right. Before we go, anything else in the comments? I'm just gonna have a quick look to see if there's anything interesting. Yeah,
final thoughts, boys and girls, and Watkins, all non-binary people.
We offered Watkins before the Saudi Duran offer. I suppose the main thing that we actually wanted to talk. Well, actually, there's 2 things. One, it's the top 5. I still think it's not done yet. That Bournemouth game is huge.
Yeah.
We said it at the start of this weekend, the previous weekend just gone, that it will all become a lot clearer. It's clearer, but it's not a lot clearer.
It's what, sorry? It's clearer.
I think in the end, I'm hoping that at the end of this weekend, it will all become very clear, and it will be very clear that if we do what we need to do, we will get it.
Well, it's quite simple, mate. If we beat Bournemouth and Chelsea can lose to Newcastle on Sunday, then it's game on.
Let's draw with West Ham or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely game on. So the twists and turns. The annoying thing is that we've just got to sit and wait and hope, and it's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, it's the hope that kills you. And Kjetil Rasmussen, is that Icelandic or something like
that? Yeah, great name.
Yeah, to finish 6th isn't bad. He's completely right. When you look at it, is mental when you look at the season, and it's like quarterfinals of the Champions League, narrowly losing out to PSG on one of the greatest nights I've ever been at Villa Park.
Yeah.
Semi-final of the FA Cup, yes, we went out with a damp squib, and finishing 6th could be considered a failure.
Yeah. No,
What the
bonkers,
fuck? 2.5 years ago, we were 17th in the Premier League by goal difference. Like, ridiculous.
I think it's not it's the what ifs, isn't it? What could have been. That's the problem. Finish second. Sure. You're living the dream, mate. You're more.
If we do, thank you very much. Right. Anyway, we're going to round it off there. We will be here with a preview to the Bournemouth game. Is that game Saturday?
Saturday 5:30, mate.
Saturday, right, okay, we'll put out the preview probably Thursday. Thursday morning. And then obviously we'll be back after that with the post-match, hopefully not depressed. So we'll see how we get on.
Yeah.
Right, Gaz, any final thoughts or sing us out?
I'm going to sing us out, mate. My final thought is this. Rest in peace, Mr. McParland, for being the last remaining FA Cup winner to pass away this year. Holt Enders in the sky. I think that's a sad story, but a great one as well. Again, just big up. He scored in the FA Cup final and the League Cup final that year, and that's something that hasn't been done by another Villa player, I don't think. That's up for next season. Hopefully, we can break that. Hopefully, we can beat Bournemouth, and we let the hope carry us through, mate. And
it kills me.
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
See ya.
Peace and love.